Hey, what's going on, guys? It's me, Aiden from Cartoon Apocalypse, and today I've finally got another star video. The past couple of videos, or the past week of videos, has pretty much just been miraculous, and I'm being honest, I really wanted to make some star videos because I love star. I mean, I love miraculous too, but I also like star, and I felt like I wanted to make more star videos, but there was just so much miraculous getting back to back blasted at my face that I just couldn't. So we're here with another star video about some more info on Season 4. So, for those of you who do not know, the Magic Book of Spells actually had its own signing thing, and Darren Nefsey and Adam MacArthur and some other people went up onto a Barnes & Noble it was a small stage kind of thing where just a selective group who went there got to go in and ask questions and get their book signed and things like that. So they had a big discussion at the beginning talking about just the show, or not even really just the show, just kind of the book. It was mainly around the book, but they did end up talking about the show a little bit, and a lot of the questions that some of the fans asked were kind of tied in to Season 4, or they hinted at having tied in into Season 4. So all of these videos and clips that you're going to be seeing are all taken from LordVictorino, so I will leave his channel link down in the description below. He is a very active member on our Discord, which you can go join if you're interested, but I just want to thank him for recording on this video and allowing me to make a video on it, so thanks again. So I'm just going to be saying some of the questions. I'll be going through all the questions that they asked, or at least I hope I didn't miss any, and the answers to those questions, as well as just some basic knowledge here in the beginning that I feel like we should address. So one very interesting thing that they said in the panel or discussion, I'm just going to call it a discussion, one of the very interesting things that they said in the discussion was that many of the things from the book, or I don't know, we don't know an exact amount, but they just said some of the things from the book are in Season 4 because they were making Season 4 at the same time of making the book. So they were like, okay, well, since this is in Season 4, let's tie it back from the book so that we can get some hints and things like that.
Oh, here's this cool thing we're doing 4th season. Oh, here's something we can put in the book that ties in
A lot of things, or at least in my opinion, I feel like we're going to be seeing a lot of things. Now, specifically, some of Eclipsa's spells that were not in the show already, we will be seeing those. They confirmed in the panel, or in the discussion, that we will be seeing some of Eclipsa's spells that are not previously in the first 3 seasons that was in the book. We will be seeing that in the 4th season. So, we will be seeing Eclipsa for sure as a dominant character in Season 4. That's been confirmed now. Now, another thing that they did say involving things in the book and in Season 4 is that as they were wrapping up the book and things, as they were also continuing on Season 4 and making all the final edits to it and whatnot as far as just developing the show, they made a lot of last-minute changes to the Book of Spells as far as adding some things and changing some things to make it correlate with the Season 4 better. So a lot of the things may have been changed. Now, that's why I said a lot of things, because they said that many of the things were added and things like that. So I'm just thinking that there's a lot of small, subtle hints that obviously we won't really be able to pick out and determine which is which and why they put this in. So we're not really going to be able to tell until after Season 4 comes out how these play in to the Season 4. So it'll be interesting to see as we're watching Season 4 which things have come from the book and what we know from the book. So that was very interesting, but now that we've established that, let's get into the questions. Now, the first question that was asked was, is Season 4 the last season? And they are all like, oh, well, we can't answer that, you know, the typical crew answer. And they did say that a lot of it was dependent on if Season 4 goes well and just the show in general, if it does well, if all the books do well, because of course at the end of the day Disney is out to make money. So if the show does extremely well, then they'll probably be more likely to make a new show. But as we know, a lot of Disney shows, I think almost all of them, haven't gone past a 4th season. So I'm hoping that Star can break that, but I really don't know. And I don't know, they made a lot of jokes for the person who said it being like this, but they were like, yeah, it's really not up to us. It's up to the people who made the show. So it'll be interesting to see how this all goes out. So the second question was, why was the whispering spell not in the Book of Spells? which is a very good question, and we got a lot of information from it. They answered the spell was learned from their mother, so the spell is passed down from mother to daughter, so it's not something that you just learn from the book. Now, they did hint at Star may have taken stabs at writing it down, but we don't really know. They were just like, oh, well, Star may have done this. It can be assumed that Star tried writing it down. But then Dominic, which is one of the main people who wrote the Book of Spells, said, you will probably be satisfied with where it goes in Season 4. So, this makes me believe that now that Eclipsa has the wand, she will be teaching Meteora this spell. And in my opinion, that makes sense. That's what I thought just in the very beginning from the end of Season 3, is that Eclipsa is going to be getting Globgor out. They're going to raise Meteora the way she should have been. That's why Meteora wasn't killed. She was turned into a baby so that she could be raised and start this new Mumin Empire. And it just makes sense that we would be seeing a lot of Eclipsa things with the whole Eclipsa's chapter thing and seeing the spells in Season 4. That makes sense, right? So my guess is that we will be seeing Eclipsa teach Meteora these spells, and we will be seeing her teach the Whispering spell. So that's going to be super awesome if it happens. Again, that's all speculation, but in my opinion, that makes sense. And it would also explain where Glossaryck went. Possibly. I think he went to go be with Eclipsa and Meteora and help train them, because as we know, Eclipsa doesn't know magic without her wand. So it would be interesting to see Glossaryck teach Eclipsa as well as Meteora. So I'm super excited to see where this goes. So the third question was it the spell that was mentioned by Solaria? That was referencing to the previous question, which was the Whispering spell. So, was the Whispering spell the spell that was mentioned by Solaria, the one that caused mass destruction? And pretty much Dominic answered by saying, the Whispering spell is more of inside destruction, and then Solaria's is more of outside destruction. And Darren gave an interesting look to this, like, oh, well, that's not really right. So if it really wasn't that big of a deal, they probably would have just said, oh, no, it's not, whatever. But they went into detail, and Darren was like, oh, well, that's not exactly correct, but kind of. So that makes me believe that we will be seeing a Solaria spell in Season 4. So that'll be interesting to see. Again, it's very subtle info, but we can really turn this info into a little bit of a good video and good info to have. Now, the fourth question was, does the team go on subreddit? And honestly, I was hoping that they would be like, oh yeah, we watch a bunch of Cartoon Apocalypse videos. No, I'm just kidding. But they asked, does the team go on the subreddit? And pretty much Darren said that she does sometimes, and then Dominic says that he tries to avoid it, and he was kind of funny in that, because he said he went on it and someone didn't like the Ponyhead sisters, and he was the one who made that. So I don't know, that was kind of funny, and we didn't really hear from much of the crew, but sometimes the crew does go on the subreddit and sometimes they don't. So odds are they have not been on it very often, but sometimes maybe they do. So that's pretty much the conclusion I got, is sometimes. So the fifth question was, what is your proudest moment of the show? Now, Adam just immediately blatant says all of Marco's moments. Of course he would say that, because Adam McArthur is the voice of Adam. But Darren said pretty much too many things. She was like, oh, well, there's so many things from the show that I forget, and then we go back and watch, and it's so amazing. So she didn't really have a clear answer. And Dominic says the Moon and Star relationship, because they try to develop a relationship between Moon and Star, a mother-daughter thing, where it's not just like this perfect mother-daughter scenario. It's like a true family, where it's not perfect in dandelions and lilies. It's all just, there's some like hard times in there, and just things where they disagree and fight and things like that. Then he continues to talk about Star, Eclipsa, and Moon episodes, which, in my opinion, or at least what I remember, I don't think that there were that many in Season 3. There were a couple, but it's not like there was an absurd amount. So there was like one, maybe two episodes where we saw Star, Moon, and Eclipsa in the same episode, and talking in a 3 group. So this makes me believe that we will be seeing some more Star, Moon, and Eclipsa episodes in Season 4, which in turn would mean that Moon gets found or saved or something. In my opinion, I think it would have been good for Moon to die. I don't know why. I just feel like that would make a good thing for the show, just push along that someone new is queen, either Star or, as we know right now, Eclipsa. and just for Star to just kind of live with it and like learn how to deal with it and things like this. And I feel like it would be very interesting and be a good dynamic, because as we know, Moon's mother died as well as Eclipsa's, so why not Star? I don't know. I don't exactly have like good evidence to why she should or how she will, but I just think that that would be a good thing to throw into the show. But if what I just said was correct, then Moon will be coming back. So again, this is all speculation. I don't know for sure, but there's a possibility that Moon will be coming back. So the sixth question is Toffee dead? And of course, Darren was like, oh, sorry, we cannot answer that. But Dominic was like, well, that would be a pretty easy question to answer if it was just yes. So there's something bigger behind Toffee. Either he is like dead in the show, as in we won't see him again, or he will be making a return in season 4. So I'm excited to see how this all plays out, because Dominic really did hint to Toffee. There's more to Toffee than we know. So he's not just dead. There's more to him. He's making a return in some way, or at least he's not. It's not like he's dead, it's just he's not in the real world or something. There's something more complicated to it, because he said the answer couldn't just simply be yes. It had to be something, either a long story of like, hey, well, he's like dead, as in he's not returning to the show, but he will be like, his spirit's still there or something like that. So he's not like dead. He's still alive in some way, shape, or form.
Ooh, again, I don't think we can answer that one. It's a good question, though.
Right. We can answer that one, but if it was yes, that'd be pretty easy to answer.
Now the seventh one was, how did CalArts shape your ability to make Star? Now Darren FC went to CalArts as well as a lot of the people who work on Star, and Darren replied with making the short film at the end of the semester. So that's cool, I guess. It doesn't really play into anything at the end of the show, but I mean, I guess it's cool info to have. Now question number 8 was, where did you come up with the idea of Star? And pretty much Darren said this old story that I knew, but she said that she came up with it in college and she tried to pitch it and then it got rejected, and then she eventually made it to Disney, and then there was a big long process of changing it up, and then eventually it got accepted into Disney. So she went into more detail with it. Again, the link to LordVictorino's video will be down in the description if you want to watch it, but that doesn't really play into the show at all. So let's move on to the 9th and the final question. So the 9th question was, in the Guide to Mastering Dimensions, Glossaryk said he could not read between the balls in Derhana's chapter. And then they asked, how could Star? And then really there wasn't a very vague answer. They pretty much just said you had to develop the skill, and they made a lot of jokes around it, but really it's not that important. Derhana didn't play a big role, so that's why they didn't have an in-depth answer. The way that I see it is, if they don't have an in-depth answer to a question, then it's not important, pretty much. So my guess is that it just doesn't matter how he couldn't read it. It's not really going to be making an appearance in the 4th season. It's just you have to develop the skill, I guess, which doesn't entirely make sense. It would have been nice to have like a full explanation for it, but that's just their way of saying, hey, it doesn't really matter. So we got a lot of information from these questions. This video is super long, but again, thanks for LordVictorino for allowing me to make a video on this. I knew some things from just Twitter, from people who had attended it, but I didn't know it to this extent. So thanks so much for recording it. I really wish I would have gone. I would have gone and got my book signed and tried to ask questions and things like that. But of course, you can't have everything. I wish I could have gone, but anyway, that's really going to be it for this video. If you guys did enjoy, then you can leave a like and subscribe for more content coming soon to this video channel called Cartoon Apocalypse. But anyway, that's going to be it for me, and I'll talk to you guys later. Goodbye.
Anybody not able to read Durania's chapter? A couple, 3, okay. Get a friend. We're going to have Durania buddies. Anybody who can't read Durania, get with a Durania reader, and we'll go through it. I'm happy to help.